Hey guys, so I am back and I'm gonna do Herlonda Hubert community tag. It's called Then Verse Now, and I'm gonna link her video in the description bar so that you guys can go check it out for yourself. But I thought this was a great tag and so fitting for the moment. Like I said to you guys in my previous video, I'm in a transition on rather my channel will be more about vlogging, not as much about the dolls. And I don't know, I feel like Jade is like her face is like looking so dark because she's not in that much light. And yes, Jade is still here. There we go. Well, you guys see her face. I just can't, it's just, I guess it's less light over here in this area. But anyway, so yeah, I am sneaking in some cuddles with her. She is, say mommy is making payments. And so I thought maybe she probably enjoy seeing her as well. There we go. I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, like I said, I am in a transition of what I'm going to do exactly with my channel at this point. So the Then Verse Now tag was perfect. I mentioned before, like, some of the things that I enjoyed, which was the powdering the silicone babies versus, and I used to love doing that. I don't do that now. I would like to go back to that, or be able to do it on some babies, maybe. If I powdered Jade, she would be ashy looking, so it just wouldn't make sense to really powder her. And she doesn't need it. She's not sticky or anything. So some of the other things too was buying babies back to back, just buying all the time. Just like Herlonda said, you be caught up in the excitement and you just, you're constantly looking and you like this one. Oh, I want to try this one. I'm going to try that one. And you end up buying a lot of babies. I'm not going to say how many I bought within my first 2 months of collecting because then it would just be definitely shameful. But it is impulsive shopping. It's really like, it becomes almost like an addiction more than a hobby. And a lot of people don't like to say that and they don't like to hear that, but it does. It becomes more of an addiction. Like almost like I can't even stop myself buying. Like I was just buying all the time. Another thing is I was doing a lot of like Once Upon a Child hauls, like not necessarily like hauls for videos, but going to the stores, buying all this stuff. And so even now I'm purging right now as we speak. I have closets and drawers and bins of clothes that the babies might have worn once. Some they haven't even worn at all. And then I don't even like the stuff anymore, or don't want it, or don't even use it. So it's like all this extra clothes that I've bought for no reason. So that stuff I've stopped doing. And again, I have to agree with her. If it's something that don't really like just grab my attention and hold my attention, I don't buy it. Now I still have I used to always go to the baby store, the baby section of the stores first. I still kind of do that, to be honest. And then, but the thing now is that I don't always come out with something. When in the past, I will always come out with something. You better go answer your phone. And then another thing I used to do was collect like tons of pacifiers. I don't necessarily collect them as much as I used to, but I still like collecting pacifiers. I think a lot have changed for me, more so of the feeling of back then, like jumping up doing a video. I did it freely, carefree, and I didn't like, I never really like thought about it. Like before I uploaded a video, I just did it. Now when I'm recording, I'm kind of like, oh, this might offend so and so. Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, or Yeah, and I know a lot of you guys, you know, of course, are going to say in the comments, and you guys tell me all the time, just be you, we don't care, just, you know. But at the end of the day, it does kind of affect me, because then I have a lot of people that, you know, at that point, you know, they get their feelings hurt, and then, you know, whatever. I think the community has a lot more new people in the community. I think because we're all collecting for different reasons, and we see things differently, and now a lot of videos are more about opinions and dissecting the hobby itself and breaking it down. I think that's kind of taken away the joy from the hobby from when it was back then. Back then you would pop in and snap on a video, you know, click on a video, and it would be like great, you know, you would just like laugh through the video or look at the babies or new box openings and stuff like that. Now, you know, every other video is about what this person hates and what they don't like and who's copying who. And yeah, I know I've done those videos before too, but it's actually killing the joy of the hobby, not just for myself but for others. So I am, like I said, you know, I guess everybody else will probably say the same thing about themselves. You know, I think that the way that I do my videos is a little bit more different from everybody else. I don't do it with malicious intent to like sabotage one particular person or, you know, destroy someone or whatever. If that was the case, then I'd call out channel names. But I think that some of the other ones are actually, that is their, you know, intent. And then, so I don't know, it, you know, and like she said, you know, you meet friends, you build friends, you know, through the community, and then you lose some, and then you realize that some was never your friends, and it just, you know, it's a cycle of life. It's, you know, it's a part of YouTube, and you're vulnerable. You're out here on social media for the whole world to see, not just doll collectors, but, you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers. Anybody could stumble across these videos and be like, oh my God, I know her. You know what I mean? She's a nut. So, I don't know. I think back when I first started, I was a little bit more carefree and a little bit more just happy-go-lucky. As in now, I'm more cautious. I'm more thinking before I upload a video. And I don't know, I think that, you know, I wish that I could go back to the way I was, but I know I can't, because for one, I've grown since then. I've learned so much more, and I've matured, you know, on a level where I don't want to be as reckless with my words as I were, you know, even 5 months ago. So it's just not worth it. At the end of the day, you just lose, you know, friends and people that, you know, once adored your channel or cared about you, and now they really like think you suck because they think you're like a mean girl because you've given a review on a doll that they may actually have in their collection. Many of my friends actually, you know, or Dolly, you know, associates respect my views and on different reviews on different dolls and stuff. But then there's, you know, the ones that really wish I would shut the hell up. So so it's a happy medium. But I do think that a lot of stuff have changed with me. Like I've never been a bottle collector, so I never collect that, and I've never been that much into feeding videos, but I will do some, you know, for role play purposes. And I think I still enjoy it when I do it for that purpose. But I think with the Drinking Wet Baby made me want to collect more bottles, because you don't have to worry about sealing the nipple and stuff like that. So you can collect all kinds of fancy bottles and stuff. But yeah, and back then I originally started, so I've been through 3 different phases as well. Back then I was strictly reborn collector originally, and I didn't think that I would ever want to collect silicone babies because I was afraid of the tearing and the ripping and all that stuff. Gabby, can you turn your tablet down? She's purposely doing that because she knows I'm recording. But so yeah, I said no. I was afraid of it, and then I went to partials, and then and then I went to the full bodies, and then from there I realized that I really love full bodies. And back then I felt like, you know, buying an inexpensive silicone was, you know, all the same. Was all the same sorry. She looks so real. I'm just like having a moment here. So what was I saying? Oh my god, I totally forgot. I turned Jade this way and she just looked so real, and then I realized that she's gonna be leaving soon, and then I just kind of got a little emotional. So I'm sorry. Shoot, what was I saying? I don't know, but anyway, a lot have changed. Oh, silicone. Then I decided that, you know, I never spent over $2,500 for a silicone baby, because there was certainly nothing, you know, more different about having a $2,500 silicone versus, you know, a $6,000 one, or much less a $10,000 one. But then Zoe happened, which was my first Claire Taylor doll. And first of all, I want to say, and I'll give credit here, the first doll that I realized that a silicone could be painted much like a reborn was my Rachel Farrell baby, which was Polly. He was freaking amazing. I was totally in love with him. And then Zoe, so I had got one full body that was by Angela Wilkins, and her hands and feet was very nice, but she had no depth in her face to me. That's just my opinion. And so it didn't quite meet the whole reborn like painting standards. But then when I got the Polly by Rachel Farrell, I was like, oh my god, they can be painted like reborns. And then I got Zoe and I freaked out and lost it. And the feel of her, she was not rubbery, and she just, you know, the silicone just felt totally different from, you know, a lot of the silicones that I had felt. I will say that I always mention, I will say that if I had to say the next in line to the best feeling silicone babies were the Ross Baileys. But anyway, so price, I was like $2,500. No, that's top. And then I realized, you know, I wanted more. And then I realized that, you know, spending more can get you more. Just depends on where you're getting it from. It wasn't so much of the price, but the quality of the doll. And I'm kind of back to the point of where I don't want to spend that much money, but it's not because I don't think it's worth it. It's just because it's where I'm at in my life, and financially I don't think that it makes sense, because now I have Gabby and she's growing and her needs and stuff. So I just can't invest what I used to into my dolls, which is why I make my own reborns now versus when I used to buy them all the time back then. And they're getting up there to the standard of, you know, the ones I used to collect, but they're still not there, in all honesty, to the, not completely 100%. I'm gonna say they're running really close to some of my favorite babies. Well, I'm gonna say this and it might sound a little cocky or arrogant, and I'm not to offend anybody, but I think my reborns have gotten to the point, actually, the part that takes away from me is actually the brooding. I have to send it off to pay for it to be brooding, which cost me like $300 or so. So to me, being a newer artist, selling a baby, then I have to sell a baby for at least $750 to $800 in order to cover the brooding plus make money off of my painting. So it's kind of like a bummer, because I never wanted for my dolls to get that expensive. So anyway, so now, where I used to be more of a reborn collector, I am more of a reborn painter and more of a silicone collector, if that makes sense. I don't want to buy any more reborns because I just paint my own, but I do prefer, you know, the silicone babies over reborns. So now that's what I you know, I really like my collection to consist of. My reborns are mostly my display babies, and my silicone babies are mostly the babies that I spend my time with, and I am just like totally in awe and in love with her. So yeah, so anyway, I don't want to make this video like super long, but I thought it was a super great tag. I would love to hear what you guys think of, you know, things that you talk about things that you used to do and the way you used to think versus now. Right now, I just want to enjoy my hobby, and I think that's always been my intent. I've never, you know, despite what a lot of people think, I never made videos to become YouTube famous or to get subscribers. I just always had something to say and was constantly like doing stuff, changing the babies and stuff, and so I would always record it. So I just always had lots of videos popping out because I just love dolls. It was never about trying to grow my channel. I do want to see my channel grow, of course. Who doesn't when you invest so much time and money into the hobby itself? Because just doing videos and photography and all that is a hobby all by itself. Photography, oh my god, that's one thing. In the beginning, like, I used to take pictures all the time, and I still like to take pictures all the time. I think I want to do more into doing photography with the babies, but I'm not just that creative yet, but I'm working on it. I'm gonna try to, that's gonna be my next thing that I really like try to get better at. Not for selling or anything like that, but just because I like to do pictures and everything. I'm getting messages, and I think these are I'm getting messages from my kids. I'm sorry. Look, this is not even live, and oh my gosh. Anyway, so my daughter is asking to get paid to do a video. So yeah, so anyway, sorry, excuse me. So yeah, so anyway, so yeah, I don't know, but I lost my train of thought, but that is it for now. I'm certain, just like Herlonda said in her video, when I shut the video off, I'll think of all the things that I should have told you guys that I used to do that I don't do anymore. Oh, one other thing, yes, the taking the babies out. I used to, and I mentioned this before in a video, I used to like to take like Paris Memoir out and babies out for like reactions and videos and stuff like that at outings. But that's the least part that I liked, even being a real mom. I hated taking my kids out when they were little because all the unpacking the car seats and packing them back up and carrying the baby bags, which you don't have to worry about the baby bags with the dolls. But all of that is just like a hassle, and it just makes my trip less enjoyable. So that's why I don't really do it unless I'm taking them to visit somebody or something. So yeah, anyway, let me go.